All right, guys. Well, wait.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I remember how to do intros. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. All right, welcome, everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for Haikyuu, Season
2, Episode 1.
Episode 1. I'm so
Boys
excited.
are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
Boys
and
are back in
we
town.
had the OVA last week.
Right.
Where we were introduced to a new character on Nekoma.
Mhm.
With Haiba Lev.
Right.
We also
got a bit of development for
got a little
Kenma.
development for Kenma.
Yep.
Yeah, I really liked how they are bringing Nekoma a little bit more to the forefront, and I think that would be a hint that Season 2 is going to focus on other teams other than Karasuno. Like,
Or at least
like,
since
it's
they
not
don't
their-
have to establish Karasuno.
Right, they can spend more time amongst all the teams.
Exactly.
Meaning that while in last season they focused on them only when it brought them into facing Karasuno, I think we'll actually legitimately have games where Karasuno will be in the stands.
Yeah,
and
I would love
not-
to see that.
Not
Yeah.
be on the court.
Well, especially because, like, okay, they're very vocal people because they love
Yes.
volleyball, rightly so,
We
right?
have the Hinata squawk. The
Yep, we've got the Tanaka. Ah!
Yeah.
So I would love
And the
to.
Nishinoya, like, power speeches.
Exactly.
Oh, I love them.
So I would love to see that of them basically reacting to
Right.
their friends,
And we can
playing
react
an
to them
awesome
reacting.
game.
That'd be awesome. Also, the third years are making a real sacrifice.
They are
We now know that the spring tournament is actually a thing.
right, and that it's not. Even though it's the spring tournament, it's before
It's the same.
end of
It's
the
the
year.
same year, so they
Right.
get essentially 2 tournaments in the same school
Right.
year.
So the
But
third years
this-
actually will be a part of it.
Right, but they are sacrificing precious time in between high school and their
studies, yeah.
collegiate studies. So
Yep.
this is a big deal, and
Oh, yeah.
particularly for those like Suga and kind of Daichi, because Suga wasn't on the starting lineup.
Right.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
that might mean
So
that
that is a
you know-
huge sacrifice because that's taking this hit on your studies
for
when
something
you
where you might not get
even
anything
play very much.
Yeah, from it. So
And we don't know what Kyoko's wanting to do. Like she's with the team and stuff, but we don't know what her plans are for afterwards.
right. But having the 4 of them make this decision is huge because our hearts are with them all being
Yes.
together. But we realize that we've now just delayed the inevitable for a future point of when they all die, because outside of high school
There
we
is-
don't exist.
yeah.
There's only the void. All right,
So-
guys, we're excited.
We are.
But without further ado, let's get into this episode and see what happens now. Ooh, sound. Oh, the
Remembering
amateur
back
side
to the game.
match. Yep. Wow. Yeah.
They're going to be practicing so hard to try and keep that.
目の前に立ちはだかるその向こうはどんな眺めだろう
I like how at very specific times they make good use of the gray overtones.
決して見ることのできな
Probably a
い景
bit
色
depressed and now they need to pick themselves up and.
I think they're focused
Fly.
and serious, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
一人ではないのなら
I also really like that they.
Hey, and
setting
see
up
the sun
net.
comes
Uh-huh.
out with
Yep.
Hinata talking,
Mhm.
little sun boy.
But that was really cool showing them set up the volleyball net.
For sure.
New
opening!
Aye! I'm gonna miss the oh yeah though. Like,
Yeah, but I'm ready for the next one.
nice.
All right. They're all stretching.
But there's some new
Ready.
characters here.
I don't
there
think
was
so.
No, because there was a girl.
No,
that-
oh, the girl, the blonde girl there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess yeah, that makes sense that they would practice like that.
Yep. New character. Focus
Oh,
on her
oh
a bit.
no. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You sense the love interest, didn't you?
I do.
No,
I
no.
do.
We'll wait. Oh, Nekoma. I like the blue.
I like the tracking shots with the ball.
Dang, bullies. New characters.
Uh-huh.
Kuro. I love Kuro. Wow, that's like a triple fake.
Nice.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
A lot of girls. Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. See, I love the headband.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is that
Kyoko's rocking the
Inoshida on
ponytail.
the
What?
on the
Who?
front there? Oh, I guess that's the whole team. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Tokyo. Let's make me think of Datsuko chant.
Oh, faked! Oh, here we go! Oh, can't stop that!
Whoa!
Whoa, nice effort! Suki, oh my gosh!
I don't think we've ever seen Suki really run before.
Yes!
Do it!
Yes, Yamaguchi! Nice.
Oh, okay,
nice.
but
He did
he
do a
wasn't
jump.
trying to do-
He did do a jump serve though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was legit. The cross. Oh, Yamaguchi, go. Oh. Oh!
Whoa.
I'm loving this intensity in the
Whoa.
practice. Oh!
What a way to show him being fast.
my
Like
God.
that was ridiculous.
Wow!
Wow.
がむしゃらにやりゃいいってもんじゃねえぞ。キャプテン、お前からもなんとか言ってやっ。
影山まだいけるよなトス上げてくれ
Wow!
だやんのかよお前ら。
Whoa!
自力は確実についてきてる。どうする？
Takenori Tetsu.
I got us a match.
You guys a match, and it's in Tokyo, right?
行きますよねどこに話出てます
Your nose is bleeding.
東京
Tokyo! Is it? I think it is. That looks like Kuro.
Yeah.
Yeah! Nekoma!
今回は猫間
Not
だけじゃな
just
い
Nekoma. Multiple games?
フクロウダリ学園グループ
Kurodani.
Wait,
猫間を含む関東の数校でできているグループで
wait, have we met
Whoa.
Kurodani
練習試合など
before?
を盛んに行っているそうなのですが
昔から積み上げた関係性みたいなもんでできてるから。
Oh, and Karsuno's got the into that relationship
Right,
bit.
because they didn't
This is how
have
we can meet a
connections
bunch of
earlier.
new players and
Yep.
stuff.
あと、またしつこく頼んでくれたでやろう。先生にもな。
Yes, of course.
僕はそんなあのセットアップ頭しか見れんのか風邪ひいたかな
He just felt the pressure from Kageyama's like center energy.
今度は俺が守るかシティボーイ連合に殴り込みじゃシティボーイ連合
Ah, of course he is.
Whereas the other people are like, oh, they get scared by it. There's a symbiotic.
Right.
もちろん
Yes. Oh.
おじゃあ僕これから職員会議なので行きますね
Okay.
ゆかいくんあとよろしくお願いします
Cool.
All right.
私も頑張る
Oh. Oh. Oh, I love it.
帰れよ。
Oh,
New blonde girl.
I think so.
Oh no.
Wait. Is that Kyoko?
Is it Kyoko?
清水先輩
Yeah.
日向が3年生こんなとこで
1年生でどの部活にも入ってない子ってわかる
Hmm.
Oh, because this is her first year.
Yeah.
This is her last year, so.
Yeah, she's looking for a replacement. Yeah.
牛若だ
Ushiwaka.
ジャパン
Oh.
Like he's representing the country.
Wow.
春高で宮城の代表になれるのは
Dang.
俺たちが全国に行く
Each
には
section has a person that
牛若や及
represents
川を倒さないといけないわけ
the
だ
Holy
country.
crap.
Whoa. Talking. Oh my gosh.
Oh, their grades.
No.
Uh-oh.
That was Nishinoya.
これは現実だ
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No, 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 no.
やれば
Oh no, whose grades is that?
Oh crap. Oh no. This is
And
not
they
good.
didn't show us whose grades it
I think
was.
it's Hinata's actually.
よーい
Just like old times.
Yeah, that's why he had them be last.
Uh-huh. Well, I think Daichi and Nishinoya are last, but...
They're gonna run past people. Oh my gosh.
Well, he's got super long legs. Are they going past the halfway point?
Yeah.
They're just going all the way to the top?
いいんじゃないですか
Yep.
Hinata's just a...
Oh my gosh, I love this. Where are we? Well, they don't know where they are. That's the point. Like,
若の山頂目
I don't think I've ever seen that.
白鳥沢の近く
oh no way, it's Ushiwaka.
No way.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, it is.
He doesn't even call him by his name.
He looks like a 25-year-old.
Yeah, I know. It's like, how is he in high school?
俺たちカラスノから来ました白鳥沢の偵察させてもらえませんか
Ooh.
こいつマジ
Practice game against Shiratorizawa.
じゃねえの
見られることで俺たちが弱くなることはない
Gotcha. Okay.
Whoa.
これから学校に戻る見たいならついてくればいいついてこられるんなら
If you can keep up. Oh!
行くだろやっべえなんかテンション上がるボケが
He is
He's
totally a dog.
absolutely a
お
dog.
がおしゃかっけえなんかホテルと
Yeah.
か見てなんだ
Holy crap.
おお広すぎて看板ある
He
ぞ
signed.
影山うま
That's more like a college than...
Right.
バス
Even Kageyama's freaking out. I love it. I love it.
後ろが見えるかせえ押すな白鳥沢の
Oh.
Oh, damn.
So they have to practice against
県外
colleges.
に行くか大学生くらいしか練習にならねえんだろ
Wow.
ジャパンめ
中学のお前の試合を見た覚え
Oh.
エースに尽くせないセッターはうちにはいらない
Whoa. That's
及
true.
川奴は優秀な選手
Oh, he's going to exposit about Oikawa. Whoa. He should have come to their school.
Wow.
あなたに尽くすってことですか
優秀なナインはそれに見合った土壌があるべきだ
This guy is not, like,
立派
messing
な
around.
実らない
No.
青葉城西は及川以外弱い
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
正常が痩せた土地なら
Whoa.
俺たちはコンクリートか何かですかね
Hinata's creepy eyes. Hinata's creepy eyes are back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's Kageyama.
コンクリート出身
From the
From the concrete. I love it.
あなたをぶっ倒して
Whoa.
全国へ行きます
Whoa. Episode 1, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. A bird of prey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's gonna be a murder of birds.
入っちゃダメだよ日向翔
Hinata show.
影山飛び
I'll remember your names. Whoa. He looks scary now. Holy crap.
俺たちだけだか
That's true.
Yep.
どっちも倒せば関係ない分かってんじゃねえだから東京に行く
来月になったら期末テストあるのわかるよね
Those four.
They're just
わ
dead
かるよ
eyes.
ね赤点の強化があった場合その補習が週末に行われるので
Oh. That you'll be required to
平
attend.
成にはいけない
Oh. Okay.
Karasuno! Study!
Fight!
Oh!
Yeah. Wow, that episode was so good.
Yeah. Oh.
That episode was amazing. Like,
was so
okay,
good.
so like, talk about kicking it off with a bang.
Right.
Like, oh man, this is like, it's like we never left. Like the people that were
Right.
saying like just wait, like like it gets better, you know? Oh man,
I
like,
can feel it. Like it's palpable.
Yes.
Like,
It really is.
So this episode, I think, was about that passion,
Yes,
or you could even
exactly.
say the positives of the shonen fighting spirit. You have our
Right.
protagonists
Yep.
and our heroes that are pushing themselves beyond their limits
Exactly.
to get stronger.
Yep.
But the why of getting stronger is more
Exactly.
than just we lost to our rivals before.
Yeah.
It's that it unsettled them emotionally and psychologically.
We were so close.
That they were so close,
Yeah.
they got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
Right, exactly. Which is why now they're pushing themselves so hard, because they're like, this time we're gonna make it. This time
time
we're
we're
not
gonna get it right.
Yeah, exactly. This time we're gonna get it right.
Yeah.
we're not gonna let each other down. You know, it's
Yeah.
so good.
And they focused specifically on capturing that aspect of it in every single character, but particularly in our main characters, Kageyama
Right.
and Hinata.
Yes.
And I'm glad that they did that because in the first episode, you still want to keep the focus narrow. Even though you want to set up a season with a broad kind of scope,
which they totally
did. They kept that through the lens of the main characters.
Right. And okay, here's the other thing. All right. Now, okay, I get that with Haikyuu it's not going to be a problem, but with
Right.
a lot of shows, a lot of stories, whenever there's a sequel, there's the problem that a lot of times they forget what it was that made the first part of it so good in the first place, and they end up just kind of retreading old ground and forgetting what the soul of what made it special and unique. And this is where they basically were like, hey, right out the gate, we're just going to double down on it so you remember, we know why Haikyuu is good.
Yeah.
We know why it's awesome. We know why it's the best sports anime out there.
Yeah.
We're going to remind you, in case you forgot, since the first season aired. And by the way, this next season is going to blow your mind. Like,
guys, when the whole team kind of got together and did their practice a bit, and they're going into set 4 or something like that, and they're just going hard, you can see that they're giving as much attention to the practice as they did to the Abujasai match.
Exactly.
And
yes.
that kind of gets you because you realize that they are in their minds playing at nationals. They're thinking already we're winning the tournament right now. This is how we win the tournament. We play at our best here.
This is a lesson for just general life success. Because and a lot of times you can that's why the whole idea of the shonen, pushing yourself, getting stronger. That's why we, it can resonate so deeply, right? But a lot of times it's hard to identify with really because it's with these power systems that don't actually exist in real life. But since this is something where it's just as simple as getting better, honing their craft, right? That's something that it's like, yes, this is actually how it works. The people that are the best, there's talent and stuff like that, but it's also just that they put in so much work. They go way farther above and beyond plus ultra what everyone else does. And the idea that last season, Karasuno, while they were probably pushing themselves a ton, because they didn't know how high the wall was that they needed to jump over, they weren't pushing themselves as hard, probably.
Sure.
Whereas now, since they do know,
they have first-hand experience.
They have first-hand experience. They are pushing themselves to the limit and beyond.
Right.
And
that's a good point, though. They still actually don't know how high the wall is truly, because just seeing Shiratorizawa from the side for a little bit doesn't put us in perspective as to how strong they really are. And Ushiwaka being like, well, he's the strongest, and Hinata out-jumped him, essentially. That's something to be said, because I believe he is the ace for Shiratorizawa.
Exactly.
So he was basically saying to Kageyama, no, you can't set for me. You're not good enough. Only the best can set for me.
Yeah.
I liked that they set the rival bit in this season in the very beginning.
Yep.
Rather than in the previous one where they set it a little bit into the first quarter of the season.
And the way that they did it in the first season was really good because it made it so you weren't entirely sure who the final enemy was, right? So that when they ended up facing against Abujasai, and you're like, okay, this game could still end, and then they could go on to another game, but then you're like, oh, wait, no, this is final.
No, but they did face Abujasai early on in the practice matches,
yes,
so there was that as well. But what I'm saying is that the show is taking advantage of the fact that they don't have to introduce all the characters like they did in Season 1, which you mentioned before the episode launched. So with this going into essentially a focused drive towards Shira Torizawa, I'm really excited to meet all the characters along the way that will be the ones that teach them the necessary things they need to learn about volleyball so that they're prepared for a god-tier team, an S-tier team like Shira Torizawa. And that little community group where they mentioned about the practice that they share together with Tokyo, that Nekama's a part of, that's the thing I think where the Haikyuu show is really going to shine, because I like the underdog stories where they come from the bottom and they try and go and push all the way to the top. That stuff's great, but I really think that Haikyuu hitting it like right on the money with character interactions all the time is what makes the show truly special beyond just being a sports anime.
Exactly, because that's what makes us really care about the underdog story. It's not the fact that it's the underdog story, but it's that underdog.
Yes.
We're cheering for them.
We're cheering for Hinata. We're cheering for Kageyama. We're cheering for Tsukishima. We're cheering for Tanaka. We're cheering for Asahi. We're cheering for Nishinoya, even though Nishinoya is not an underdog by any stretch of it.
Well, the idea that they've made it so that the whole team is filled with all these characters that we love and that
we are to cheer them for individually and as a team.
Right.
When they had little moments this episode where they showed kind of the passion of Hinata and Kageyama kind of carrying the rest of the team forward in that energy, one of the things that they brought up was how Oikawa's being a setter pulls the rest of his team up into greatness, even though Ushiwaka is probably somewhat right. Abajisai doesn't deserve Oikawa all the way, because Oikawa is he's a little bit of a tier above them. Yeah. But by him being a part of their team and using his ability,
he pulls them up.
He pulls them up. Right. I think that what that's supposed to mirror with Karasuno is that Hinata and Kageyama's desire to be playing volleyball as much as possible, to be the best that they can, pulls the rest of the team up.
Absolutely.
And I really want to see characters like Yamaguchi, like Inoshida, like the second years that didn't really play because they
just didn't practice
as much. People like Tsukishima, people like even in a way Asahi, like characters that don't have that confidence, that that drive.
Exactly.
Can be inspired by that. And then the people that are kind of like the echo chambers for that kind of energy, like Tanaka and Nishinoya, will just make their resounding yop even louder. And I want to see that energy infect the other teams as well. So say Karasuno is facing Nekama, right? And Kenma is the ultimate zen chill cat.
Exactly.
But someone like Kuro could get that, kind of that vibe off him. It's like, I like playing with Karasuno. Even regardless of who wins, I like that energy. They make the game fun to be with, and we can get to know them a little bit more by extension of them being connected to Karasuno in the game. So, all that being said, I want more character interactions.
This episode,
give me all the good character
interactions. This episode was just amazing. There were so many awesome, hilarious, derpy moments mixed in without throughout all of the hype, energy building stuff, or the somber beginning as they're remembering their match with Abajisai. One of my favorite things that they just decided to do, and this is a very kind of a trivial thing, but the fact that Hinata and Kageyama ran so hard and so long that they ended up going to a place they were completely unfamiliar with, because they were just so they were thinking about all right, I have to beat this person, and then suddenly they're somewhere else and they're like, what's this street, where are we? Because
that's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
If you've ever been running and you get so psyched up, the easy way to do it is you listen to music. You listen to music, and you're in the hum of the whole thing. Because most people, when they're running, they don't have someone else who can run with them at the same pace to keep it up with that. That's a very rare thing.
It's kind of boring. And by kind of, I mean
for you.
Well, no. There's the idea when you're running for a particular reason, right? When running, in a frisbee game, it's awesome.
Yeah, but that is more fun than running outside of a frisbee game.
Right.
But I enjoy the act of running in and of itself. I'm one of those weird people like Hinata and Kageyama, where I love running, but I love running when you get that person who's like, I love running too, and you're like, oh,
right. because then you're basically introducing this idea of some sort of goal, something that you're focusing on in addition, in the running as a means to that.
Okay, sure.
But anyways, I remember a point, and this is something completely different because I wasn't running, but I was just walking. But I got this idea for a story because like when I'm watching Haikyuu, I'll translate like the volleyball to like the thing that I'm super passionate about, making stories. And I ended up walking like several miles past where I was supposed to go. And then I ended up like at one point I came to a river and I'm like, that's not right. And I called the people I was like supposed to go to. I'm like, so the turnoff point, I'm at this place, and they're like, you're where? And so seeing that
That's
happen
awesome.
with Hinata
That's
and
awesome.
Kageyama, it was just great because I'm like, oh yes, that's fantastic. And then the fact that they used that as a plot mechanism to introduce them to Shiro Torizawa makes it even better.
Yeah, totally.
It was just
They repeated the same technique that they used for Nekoma in season 1 to have Hinata
run into Kenma
in that point, but in this time they ran into Ushiwaka.
Yep.
Or Ushikawa. Is it Ushiwaka? It's Ushiwaka.
I think it's Ushiwaka, yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was, in the first season, I was a bit skeptical of Shiro Torizawa. I'm like, okay, so they're like the super, like, good players or whatever. But I'm like, but what are they going to do to give them personality? Because that was what Oikawa just had in spades, right?
Oikawa really is the king of personality.
Yeah, and that's what really makes me interested in the games themselves. It's the characters, not the plot, the setting, or whatever.
Right.
So I was kind of like skeptical, like how are they going to make us really care about Shiro Torizawa?
Well, Ushiwaka is basically
boy.
like a dark, like Captain America. He stands at 6'5".
Yeah.
He stands with imperial shoulders. He has Kirei Kotomine's voice.
and somehow he's 18 or at most.
He's a third year in high school.
Right.
Not 25 years old.
Exactly.
Like, but despite him looking like the massive jawline, Neanderthal high schooler, he's actually genius intelligent.
Right.
Like he is adept at understanding what makes a good volleyball player.
Exactly. It's
he can like see that. Like he's got the Sherlock level deduction of like, I can disassemble Kageyama and find out why he's good. And I can see Hinata and immediately go, these are his stats.
Yeah.
And he's like, impressive.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to destroying these opponents.
That smile was just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the fact that he is an ace, not a setter, is going to be great because
it's a different dynamic than what we've seen.
It's a different dynamic because with Dateko, it was that, their blockers are just amazing, right? With Abujasai, it's that Oikawa, he's just this godlike setter.
Kind of like Karasuno.
Yeah, exactly, which made some great parallels with Karasuno.
Right.
The fact that they're making the top dog player for Shiro Torizawa being an ace, that's awesome because on the one hand, it's just a different dynamic.
Very different dynamic.
It's a very different dynamic, but also that means that what's the parallel player on Karasuno's team? Asahi. And
Asahi sounds like he would like quiver in fear of this giant.
Exactly.
Like, Asahi would stand, even eye level with him.
They both look like
he would like shrunk his shoulders and be like, so I hope we have a good game. And he's like, you too. And he turns about face and walks away military style. Asahi's knees are like clicking, like
which is hilarious because they both look like they're 25.
Right. What the heck are with these monsters in high school? Like, okay, I understand. I have a different high school experience than most people, but like, what the heck are with these like monsters? I mean, Jacob, when you were at your tallest point in high school, you were still pretty tall. Like,
I
was
like 6 foot. Like 6 foot. Yeah. But still,
but like, what is this guy?
Yeah. Well, and some people, and the thing is, it's one of those things where, like
you said, reality is stranger than fiction.
Yep. You'll have the people that are like 6'8" in high school, and it's just like, how did that happen?
They're like 15. Like they're not
exactly.
Like
and it's
17
like,
or something.
And like it was all from like my growth spurt that happened 1 year, and I grew 14 inches.
Right.
Like.
Oh, and they're 190 pounds with like 80 pounds of it just being muscle.
Right.
It's like,
or whatever.
Yeah,
actually, once you get up to 6'8", you'd be surprised how much people weigh, how easily.
Yes, I know.
Because, like if someone like bumped into Asahi or
Ushiwaka,
they like it. Yeah. Conservation of momentum.
Massive. That's mass.
Exactly.
They have it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And the fact that this was another thing that I thought was really good. They demonstrated that he can jump. That Ushiwaka can jump.
Yes.
Because when you're that big, it is much harder to jump.
That's true.
So with someone like Hinata, it's like, okay, he'll just be this bundle of springs, right?
Right, but he also has shorter legs.
Right.
He can't ascend to a height. He might be able to jump higher than Ushiwaka because he's smaller.
Right, but he's still
will
at a
he
disadvantage because he's like
will
a foot
he
shorter.
reach? Will he reach the max height?
Right.
As Ushiwaka, we'll see.
And
but
that's
with
why
this, they kind of showed. Oh, he might be able to.
Mm-hmm. And granted, Ushiwaka was not like, he wasn't trying to show off. I mean, maybe show off a little bit, but like he wasn't pushing himself probably. Yeah. But the idea that they demonstrated that he's big. Mm-hmm. He has verticality, not just with his height, but with how he can jump and his long arms and everything.
Right.
And then they also threw in there that, hey, Hinata can get that, that vertical distance too, in addition to being super fast. So that was just
they rarely show a shot also from above of Hinata jumping, because then it breaks some of the immersion a little bit, because you're like, wait, no one can really jump that high. But I went and had to look up online a while back when I was thinking about Hinata's jumping capabilities, and I'm like, okay, if Hinata's, this tall, and the volleyball net's this thing, how high is he jumping? And he's jumping in heights that are not like Olympic level. Like they're close. They're really close. But there are people out there that can jump really high.
The human body is an insane thing.
Yeah.
Like especially when you take into account the outliers, where there's the people that are just like, how art thou human? Like, and yeah.
Anyway, but with that scene in particular, where Hinata, Kageyama, and Ushiwaka encounter each other, and then it ends with Hinata getting offended / like competitive.
I loved him saying that, so we're from the concrete then?
Right. Hinata has, I think, about 2 or 3 times previously in this show shown his creepy eyes.
Yeah.
And when he does that, something comes over him. And he becomes not the sunny little child. He becomes like this demon.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, so, Shira Torizawa, are you ready for this?
I got it. I figured it out. Hinata is actually a yandere, and the volleyball is his senpai.
The one that he wants to spend all his time with.
Exactly.
And nothing will keep him away.
And no one will
from
take away his senpai volleyball.
Oh my gosh. Low key, Hinata is a yandere for a volleyball, confirmed. Or is it the court?
I'm not sure.
It might be both.
Okay,
it's all associated with the same thing.
All right. Here, that whole scene was amazing when Hinata jumped up and snatched the ball.
Sure.
But I loved Kageyama's slide.
Yes.
It
was almost creepy.
I'm smiling too much right now to imitate it.
Let me see if I can do it. But it was almost like the kind where I want to like have extra chins, like.
Yeah, it was just that was so amazing.
It was really
and the way
funny.
they did kind of like squiggly lines for his mouth, like.
Yes, the dirt faces in Haikyuu are legendary.
They are so good.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
A particularly bit with Takeda Tetsu bringing in a conflict that's outside of just setting up the season.
Yes.
I like that because that's ambitious. That's trying to be even more efficient than they were last year.
Yep.
And having that conflict be a meta level thing that keeps a little bit of extra pressure on Karasuno, but also threatens us with a little bit of slice of life, potentially, gets me so excited. Because then we can have the Karasuno study group for all the idiots in science class, Like, like, for all we know, like, Nishinoya...
And Kyoko's actually going to be the one that, like, knows all this stuff, and she's going to be like, okay, so...
Nishinoya is, like, has problems with, like math. Like, he can't do, like, basic algebra. And it's, like, something where Tsukishima was like, shing! Like, he pushed up his glasses, like, seems like you need a tutor. And Yamaguchi's like, Tsukishima! Like, I would love to see each one of them delving deeper into their characters on things that don't pertain to volleyball, but pertain to the aspects of them being motivated for volleyball.
Exactly, the way that sort of bleeds out into other areas of their life. Because they prom's tomorrow.
Yep.
If we fail any of our classes, we need to take remedial courses or whatever,
Right.
and we won't be able to go to the games.
You know?
And those just horrified, empty eyes as they're like,
talking to Tetsu.
well, okay, yes, him, but also
that
when,
scene was so
that was
funny.
so good. I love that he's looking at the grades and he's like, we can make this work, and then he opens up the other one and he's like. And he's
going to be
done.
okay. It's going to be okay. It's like, okay. It's like the dog in the burning living room is like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll make this work.
Exactly.
Somehow. But he had like the eyes where they're like wide, and it's like Nina from Code Geass where she's like literally going crazy. Just, like eyes are wobbling and stuff.
And okay, now
Crazy.
They also
They lost all semblance of sanity.
Well, yes, but they did a little bit of like touching base on one of the big aspects of the high school life, which is
That's true.
the heart flutters for those special people. And I thought that because it was Kyoko, but I thought it was actually going to be the new girl.
But then once you saw the black hair, you're like,
yeah, like okay, that's Kyoko.
Yeah.
But
they brought that up.
And there was that girl in the opening, and it looked like Hinata and her were like, I'm just saying
That's possible.
With grades, girls, and volleyball, that's a lot of different ways to like pull attention.
That's actually a very good point. This season can be about whether or not you're going to make volleyball your number one priority, because the third years also have their advanced studies.
Yep.
And here's the thing. Different people have different things as a priority. Tsukishima wasn't taking the run as seriously.
Nope.
He got trashed by Yamaguchi in terms of, because it wasn't a race. Like, that's the thing. To Yamaguchi, or Tsukishima in particular, to him it's not a race. But for Kageyama and Hinata, it is.
It is, yeah.
But that's the point of where which players in particular are going to come out of the woodwork and say, we're going to make volleyball the number one over everything.
Exactly.
Everything. And I
then
think it'll be cool to have some surprises where characters like Tsukishima or characters like Inoshida or characters like Yamaguchi, characters that weren't as big of development in the first season, come out of the woodwork as like, no, we're going to be like Hinata and Kageyama and put it number one.
Exactly.
And it'd be cool to see even someone like Daichi, who's for all intents and purposes an average to good player, you have to move him out because, hey, someone else is actually like taking the
That'd be really sad too, since because of the sacrifices they're making to play.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things where Hinata and Kageyama can really shine, because they will be bringing that up, and a lot of times it might not necessarily be in the easy ways of hey, look at their energy, but it could be like they're starting to leave us in the dust. Like we're not able to keep up with them. We need to double time this, and that is something that Ushiwaka's introduction here basically like
sets the tone for
because you know that for him, volleyball is the number one.
Yeah.
Everything. There's nothing besides volleyball.
Right.
And that's why he's so good, or at least that's part of why he's so good.
And he is a representative for the team as well. So if he calls Abujasai's top 6 weak, that means that all of the other players in Shiratorizawa's top 6 are basically more Ushiwakas or Ushiwakas, but they might be just a little bit slower here and there. But they are all of that like singular mind.
Yeah. Like I want to see someone like say Nishinoya, right? Because Nishinoya, the guardian deity of Karasuno. Right. I want to see him see Shiratorizawa's Libero and just be like,
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Whoa! Like I need to step up my game. Like
that would be awesome.
One of those because a lot of times they come at this volleyball thing with like it's so much fun, and that is good. You need to have that in order to really push yourself to the max for these kinds of things. Otherwise, you will burn out. But there comes a point where there's this is fun, but am I doing this just because it's fun? Is that the only reason I'm here, or am I going to take it a step beyond?
That's something I have to question a lot of times when I play Ultimate Frisbee. It's a definite dynamic that has a very pendulum swinging thing that's based around whether or not you're going to be consistent with it.
Yep.
A particular thing I noticed that this episode really did was it stepped up the visuals and the animation like a ton. This is the
Yes.
first episode, so generally speaking,
That's
guys,
true.
when they have the first episode of a season come
That's
out,
where they want to wow you.
they want to wow you with a lot more of the budget of things.
Right.
But I'm going to be looking because I could see Haikyuu being one of those shows where in the first season it got pretty popular,
Yep.
and the second season come out has all this hype around it.
Exactly.
And now the studio's like, okay, we're gonna put this as being our front runner.
Yep.
We're gonna put in like 50%
Right.
more, money into
Yes.
this.
because the things.
I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah, like because they did things in this where, and I mentioned it during the reaction, but they're taking advantage of the fact that we know how volleyball works now. We know the different
Yes.
motions and things like that.
Yes,
so they don't have
making
to
faster.
Right, so they don't have to go super fast and then go into slow motion to like focus on this one bit. They can just
Or-
do the whole thing super fast.
Right,
and we're just
or
like,
or
wow.
do cuts over and over again of different angles of the same thing, which
Right.
is still cool.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like repeat it and stuff. In fact, the only time where they repeated footage was when they were showing back and forth
Yes.
Kageyama and Hinata,
Which was
charging
great.
and running after
It was
each other.
so good.
I love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, well this was good.
I am so
Good.
excited for the whole,
Yeah.
like, all of Haikyuu, like,
That's-
not just the second season.
Same here. All right, guys, if you want to see the next episode's reaction, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get our early access. There's also full-length reactions there
Yes.
of all our episodes. Fantastic episodes. Love to have you there. It's also on our Patreon. All this comes with Discord access as well, so you can chat with us about how Haikyuu is just the best thing ever, or just your favorite moments from season 1 or what have you. And yeah, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.